WTF is going on with USDC? That's the main question of the day, and it's been going down today, both figuratively and literally. Now, USDC has depegged, and not just USDC, DAI has depegged as well. We'll talk all about that in the rest of the video, but first of all, will USDC go to zero? Very freaking unlikely. I'm holding a large chunk of my crypto portfolio in USDC and I did not move it. If that means anything to you guys, there you go. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. You need to do your own research and figure out what you want to do if you do hold USDC. Now, I'm here to bring you the latest and greatest, and these are the crypto news with Inspector. Apparently, it's a new series I'm doing. Leave a like if this is something you want to see more often, and let's get this show on the road. So let's start with a quick rundown. Silicon Valley Bank, or SVB, is no more. Now, why is that of any importance to us whatsoever? Well, it's a bank in Silicon Valley, of course, as the name implies. It's based in the United States, and it's a bank heavily affiliated with cryptocurrency. So this bank allows its clients to buy and sell cryptocurrency at will. Now, this is the second largest bank failure in the United States history. So crypto is tanking, stablecoins are depegging, but the stock market has not moved an inch, which is very interesting, and I just wanted to point it out. Now, there has been a lot of FUD about Tether, about USDT, but by the looks of it, USDT is doing perfectly fine, while USDC is collapsing. Now, it will repeg, in my opinion, but currently it is collapsing. We're obviously gonna take a look at the charts later. It was so stable ever since its launch. It never moved an inch. And now, all of a sudden, it moved down 13.5%. And now it's also gone back up about 6.33% as of the price of me recording this video. So Circle confirms, Circle, the company behind the USDC stablecoin, confirms that $3.3 billion out of the $40 billion of USDC reserves are in the collapsed Silicon Valley Bank. So are those funds lost forever? Of course not. We're talking about the United States here. This is not a third world country. Those funds will be given back. At least they should be given back. This is a bank collapse. This is not FTX collapse, a crypto exchange. No, this is a bank that has collapsed. There has to be some kind of collateral behind this. There has to be something that the government can do here. Because if the government can't do anything here, why do we even need them at all? This is where they need to come in and save the day. We'll go back to USDC in just a second, but what does all this mean for Bitcoin? Well, Bitcoin is not looking too hot right now. Still, I personally think we're gonna keep our bullish momentum. I think we're just gonna bounce around this Fibonacci area right here for just a couple weeks until the 22nd of March, when Jerome Powell, the big daddy, either says something very bullish about crypto or something very bearish, where therefore it's either gonna go back up or it will go down. So the story is the same as always. It's either gonna go up or it's gonna go down. But now at least I know what to expect. So my personal opinion is we're gonna go between 19,200 to 2,500, around that area, until we get a major announcement or something big happens in the world, like a big world event that might change this trajectory. Now, ever since Bitcoin has dropped below this trend line right here, I was a short-term bearish, but other than that, I am still very bullish. This is the daily chart, by the way, and as you can see, Bitcoin did trade around this area before as well, 2 times. So whenever Bitcoin enters this area, it does tend to just trade around, go up and down until it decides where it wants to go. Now, we do have the lower Fibonacci area as well, and once Bitcoin broke out above this Fibonacci area, so as you can see, it got rejected right here, and now here, once it was successful, it went all the way up. Right, once it went up, it went down to test the upper area of the upper Fibonacci. It tested it successfully and it kept going up, thus creating this new trend line, which it now broke below of, and currently we're still sitting at the upper Fibonacci area. So in my personal opinion, still looking bullish, short-term bearish, but long-term still remain bullish. Another bank that's collapsed is Silvergate, which is a damn shame because Silvergate has been providing services for over a decade. Now, you can't enter the crypto space as a fund without going into USDC. It is impossible for the United States, at least. So basically, the bank is just a ledger for the fund, and the fund can't enter the crypto space without the bank. So they are codependent on each other. So banks are the current problem, and what will happen is anyone's guess. What will happen for months and months down the road? We will see what's going to happen. We will see how the situation is going to play out. So once a fund gives XYZ amount of money to the bank that is associated with crypto and the bank that allows the fund to buy and sell crypto at will. For example, the Silvergate Bank, the bank that collapsed. It was forced to shut down their services because of the whole FTX and Alameda situation. So the dominoes are just falling down at this point. So once the fund gives money to the bank, new USDC is minted onto the blockchain, and that is how a fund enters the crypto space. So there is no secret war going on here with stablecoins. There's a war going on here with banks. But on a little bit of a lighter note, well, it's not really a lighter note for the person that has lost $2 million in USDC, but it may be a lighter note for everyone else. I'm so sorry to that person, but this is what happens when you don't think about slippage. This is what happens when you act emotionally and irrationally. I'm very sorry that this happened to this person, but at the same time, that person allowed it to happen. It's not like somebody scammed them, all right? So here's what happened. With the USDC insolvency fears rampant, users are fleeing to safety in other stables. Not all of them are going to make it in one piece. Here's how one unlucky user paid over $2 million to receive only 0.05 worth of USDT. Ah, God damn. So this unfortunate soul didn't maybe know how slippage works, or maybe they did know how slippage works, but it was just an emotional and irrational decision at that point, trying to save as much money as possible. But in doing so, they lost. So in his haste to swap, he neglected to set the slippage correctly, or like at all. He just hit send. So A, clearly the user did not understand how to properly set slippage, and B, the router mysteriously routed a $2 million trade through a dead Uniswap V2 pool with $2 of liquidity. This was not a sandwich attack. MAV bot just cleaned up afterwards. So yes, the fault here is twofold. Right, that being said, next up in the news, Coinbase currently paused USDC and USD conversions over the weekend while banks are closed during periods of heightened activity. Conversions rely on USD transfers from the banks that clear during normal banking hours. When the banks are open on Monday, they plan to recommence the conversions. Your assets remain safe and are available for on-chain cents. Now, while I completely understand why they made this decision, it does not look good for centralized crypto exchanges. Now, here was my opinion. So much FUD going on right now about Circle and USDC. We should all chill. It will repeg quicker without all the FUD and all the retail selling. So if everybody would stop selling, it will repeg a lot quicker. But that's not how the free market works at all. And the whole point of the free market is to let people do what the people want to do. If there needs to be a cleansing of a certain coin, cleansing will be done and the crypto space will be better for it. And I'm saying that with a lot of my net worth in USDC. I have not sold. So here's Circle's announcement from before, from a few tweets ago. Following the confirmation at the end of today
that the wires initiated on Thursday to remove balances were not yet processed, 3.3 billion worth of the 40 billion of USDC reserves remain at SVB, the Silicon Valley Bank.
Circle joins calls for continuity of this important bank in the US economy and will follow guidance provided by the state and federal regulators. So they do want the Silicon Valley Bank to continue operating. Of course, everybody wants to see that, but if it's not gonna happen, it's not gonna happen. That's just something we can't know as of this point. Now somebody said Elon Musk and Twitter should buy that bank and make it a digital bank, and Elon Musk said that would be a good idea, but I cannot find that tweet. He might have removed his reply. No, I did find it. Here it is. I think Twitter should buy SVB and become a digital bank, and Elon Musk said I'm open to that idea. That does sound very freaking interesting. Daddy Elon, please do this. Save the day. Now, he's not a person who saves the day. He's just a person who makes profits. If it's not profitable for him, it's not something he will do just to appease the public. Either way, Circle holds 77% of their reserves in 1 to 4 month T-bills. These T-bills are held by BNY Mellon and are managed by Blackrock. Now, if you don't know the company Blackrock, you should educate yourself on that because it's not something I want to talk about on this channel. This provides an absolute floor of USDC of $0.77. So if it does keep falling down, it won't fall down below 0.77. At least it shouldn't. So the remaining 23% is all held in cash at various entities. Approximately 1/3 of that cash was held at the bank that collapsed, the SVB. So the SVB is going to liquidate all assets over the next couple months, and most estimate will return no less than 10 to 20% of the total asset value. So USDC has $11.4 billion split between 7 banks. This is the cash part. This is the part from $0.77 until $1 for their peg, right? So 2 of those banks were SVB and Silvergate. BNI Mellon likely holds the majority of the assets. It's safest. If they wanted to yield, they'd be in treasuries. So too long didn't read version, relax. It's all gonna be totally fine. Hopefully. Now, once again, I'm not a financial advisor, ladies and gentlemen. This is mostly my opinion. I just wanted to share facts, and if you like news with the Inspector, be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see y'all next time. Inspector out.